Hi friends, today I will be talking about Maharashtra Tenancy and Agricultural Lands Act 1948. If you look at the frequency of cases regarding tenancy, it is getting lower and lower day by day. We don't find enough number of cases which fall within the category of tenancy and which fall within the purview of Maharashtra or Bombay Tenancy and Agricultural Lands Act. Recently, I happened to sign two cases regarding tenancy, and when I was having a discussion with my clients, I realized that the clients, it may be the landowner or maybe a tenant, they are having very little knowledge about the provisions of Tenancy Act. And not only my clients, but there are n number of clients whose interests are associated with Tenancy Act. They don't have requisite amount of knowledge as far as their tenancy or landlordship is concerned. So I took advantage of this opportunity and decided to make some videos on Tenancy Acts. And this is first video in this particular scenario or series. The question which I was put on by my client, who happened to be the tenant, was like this. The tenant whom I represent in this particular case, she came to me and she said me that being a tenant myself, if the landlord or the landlady intends to sell the land in which I am acting as a tenant, can the landlady, can the landlord sell that land to someone else and not me? So the tenant is there and tenant is willing to buy the land. So she asked me whether the landlady or landlord sell the land not to the tenant but to someone else. This was a valid question. Many landlords, many landladies are selling their lands not to the tenant but to someone else by making a sale deed. Because the prices of lands have gone up, they have skyrocketed, and the landlady and the landlords are willing to take the advantage of those skyrocketed prices. So the question was very valid one. If this question is supposed to be answered, then we have to keep in mind the section 64 of Bombay Tenancy Act. It says that if the landlady or the landlord wishes to sell the land, the tenant land, to a particular person, then that landlady or that landlord first has to apply to the Mamlatdar or the Tahsildar to fix the reasonable price of the land. I am talking about the reasonable price. The price of the land which the landlord or the landlady intends to sell has to be first of all fixed. So there has to be a legal proceeding for the fixing of price of the land which the landlady or the landlord is willing to sell. So the first proceeding is fixing the reasonable price of the tenant land. Once this price has been fixed under section 64 subsection 1, then the landlord or the landlady has to make an offer to the tenant. So the first preference is to be given to the tenant and not to someone else, because that tenant is personally cultivating the land. He is acting as the tenant and there is a contractual relationship between the tenant and the landlady or the landlord. So the first preference has to be given to the tenant. The landlord has to intimate that I want to sell this land. Are you ready to purchase the land at a reasonable price? Once this notice has been served by the landlord, by the landlady to the tenant has to reply within 1 month. And he will say or she will say that yes, I wish to buy this land at a reasonable price. And this is the reply which will be given by the tenant to the landlord or landlady within 1 month. After that, the landlord or landlady has to fix a date, and on that date, maybe within 1 month, the landlady or the landlord has to call the tenant and ask him or her to deposit the reasonable price of the land which he intends to sell to the Mamlatdar. And once the tenant does it, the land will be given to the tenant. So this is the provision. The first preference has to be given to the tenant, and that too if the reasonable pricing has been fixed. If the tenant says that I don't want to buy your land, I don't have any resources and I cannot buy the land, at that time there are few more people in the priority list. The second offer has to be made to the labor or laborer who is working in that particular tenant land. So the second offer will go to the laborer. If he also says that I cannot buy, then the third offer has to be given to the artisan who is working in that tenant land. If he or she also says no, then the fourth option or the fourth preference has to be given to the person who is doing allied pursuits in that particular land. If he or she also says no, then the option has to be given to the person who is living nearby that particular land, and he will be asked whether he is willing to buy that land or not. If he also says no, then the land may be sold to anybody by the landlord or landlady. So the first point is fix the reasonable price of the land. Second point is give first option to the tenant, then the laborer, then the artisan, then the allied pursuit people, and then the people who are living nearby that land, and then the rest of the people or anybody from the society. If this sequence is not followed, then any sale deed which is done by the landlady or landlord will be declared as invalid under section 64 subsection 8 of the Bombay Tenancy Act. The rights of tenant are very secure, very fixed and stable. The tenant has to understand the rights which have been conferred on him or her under the Tenancy Act. No landlord, no landlady can sell the land without intimating the tenant of his or her decision of selling the land. So know your rights. Once you know your rights, nobody can exploit you. I will be talking about much more in later videos. Till then, I say thank you so much. Thank you.